it's one of the few things that's just that is like unquestionably the standard, and you can't go wrong with it, and it's iconic. I think the sound has had an impact on the way people look at the way a bass is supposed to sound, I suppose, and the look of it. Like you have to, if you're going to design a bass, you have to look at the P bass first and figure out, okay, how do we deal with that? Do we just throw what is working and everybody loves and is the way a bass is done out the window and do something totally wacky, or just completely copy it, or try to make a change to it that's going to have a positive impact, be a positive change, like improve the instrument, and you can't really do it except for minor things. So. The singer of this punk rock band I was in, called Christ on a Crutch, had traded a keyboard for a 71 red precision bass, and then he sold it to me eventually for $200. And I still have that bass, and all the sort of the most important records I've played on in my career as a guy in bands, I played that bass on all those records. I've never played another P bass like it. What I've heard was because the custom shop made me a couple of copies of it years ago, and the neck actually is one that was only made for half a year in 1971. If this is accurate, this is what somebody from Fender told me years ago. It was made for half a year in 1971, and it was supposed to be a combination or an in-between point between a jazz and a precision neck. And I was able to get the action really low because I was still, I was young and still kind of figuring out the instrument, and that made it easier to play. And of course, being a young musician in a punk rock band, it was all about playing as fast as you possibly could, as many notes as you could get in there. And so having that action really low, and it's a really light instrument too, it just made it was the easiest bass to play. The funny thing is that the copies sound better. Do. Maybe if I mess with the setup a little bit, but there's that. So I'll play those more often. I'll take those out on tour, and that one means so much to me now. I've had it for over 20 years, and it's got a lot of sentimental value, and it's a little bit fragile. So I just keep it in a closet now. Brian Baker from Minor Threat, early on when I was a teenager in school, and he played a P bass. He's actually more of a guitar player, but he was playing bass on those early Minor Threat records. And he's still probably one of my favorite bass players. Just that, and that for forever was the sound that I wanted to have, is the bass sound from Minor Threat's Out of Step record. When I first started playing, I didn't really pattern. I didn't listen to other bass players or try to, figure out how to play bass. I just started doing it, and so I looked at it more as like a melodic instrument, and would miss the sort of more locking in with the drummer and percussive element that is more traditionally associated with playing bass in a rock band, and that was great. It made me kind of a different player. It made me who I am and gave me some sort of character to what I was doing. And over time, I've kind of altered that view and matured as a player to where now I'm trying to incorporate whatever style I have in with the basics of trying to lock down a song and be that bridge between the melodic element and the percussion. I would probably say, learn the stuff that I didn't learn when I was a kid, because it's much easier to start off doing things right than have to go back and go to remedial bass 101 class. It's tough. So I would just say, learn a few rudiments, and then the best way to become proficient at an instrument is to play with other people. It's supposed to, I think, instead of sitting in a room and listening to records or whatever it is, reading out of a book, if you get together in a band setting with a group of guys in a garage, you're going to have to figure out the way to get it done, or you're not going to go anywhere and it won't be any fun.